Welcome back to Never Enough Novels. It's time to talk about the must-read new book releases in July of 2025. I know this is a little late, but I figured it's better late than never. There are a bunch of books that I'm so excited to share with you, so I wanted to make sure you still were aware of them. I'm including books that are romances, mysteries and thrillers, and a few fantasies this month, so we've got a wide variety of genres to get to. I'm going to put the links to all of these books down below in the description, so if you want to buy them from Amazon or Target, they are affiliate links, so it helps support this channel at no extra cost to you. Also, I want to mention there is still an incredible Audible deal going on right now, so I'm going to put the link down below as well. If you click it, you can get 3 months of Audible for free, which includes 3 book credits that you can spend on any audiobook. I just snagged this deal myself. It's so incredibly easy to sign up, and it goes until the end of July, so it's a limited time deal, but you still have a chance to take advantage of it. So I highly recommend giving that a shot if you are not a current Audible subscriber. Let's dive into the romances coming out in July 1st. Up first, I have Roll for Romance by Lenora Woods, and I just recently finished this one. It was a 4.5-star read for me. It is a romance about Dungeons and Dragons, so I know it's not going to be for everyone, but if you have played in the past or have any sort of interest in Dungeons and Dragons, it is an excellent romance book. I absolutely adored it. It's about Sadie, who has recently lost her job in New York City, so she moves to Texas to stay with her friend Liam for a while, and Liam convinces her to join his new Dungeons and Dragons group. So all of the people in this group are newcomers, so they do a good job explaining kind of how the game works and what it's like for new people to get into the adventure. And one of the newcomers is Noah, who is a local bartender that Liam met. And Sadie and Noah have this flirtation both in real life and with their characters in the game, which was so fun to read about, those dueling personalities. I also really like that sections of this book that take place during the game are actually told from the characters in the game's perspective. So it was like little mini fantasy novel sections within this contemporary romance book. So again, if you like fantasy or at all interested in seeing how Dungeons and Dragons work, or just want a solid romance for the summer, I definitely recommend Roll for Romance. Up next is a workplace romance called Overruled by Lana Ferguson, and she's become one of my go-to authors for contemporary romances. This one features 2 high-profile divorce attorneys who are currently conducting a no-strings-attached relationship outside of work, but they end up on opposite sides of the same case. Danica surprised even herself when she agreed to this purely physical relationship with one of the most well-known playboys in their industry. He's literally named Heartbreak Prince Ezra. She can't deny that he's incredibly attractive, but she's always been extremely devoted to her work, so she knows she is safe from actually catching feelings. Until her biggest case yet, which could launch her career, pits her against Ezra himself. Now these two are battling it out in court and also trying to address whatever continues to grow between them personally. Dani has clearly built walls around herself as a result of her own parents' divorce, and Ezra is also struggling with pressure from his family and trying to prove that he is not just charismatic, but also reliable and devoted to his job as well. Ezra knows that Dani is absolutely worth the fight if they can figure out how to navigate this trial and build enough trust between them. It's been a while since I've read a really good workplace rom-com, so I cannot wait to get a hold of this one. The last romance on my list for July is called Made for Each Other by Lynn Painter, and I'm actually about halfway through this one right now on my Kindle, and I have been flying through it. I only started it a day ago, and it's been a while since I found a romance book that captivated me this much. It's like an easy breezy romance, but it's so much fun and so unique that I can't seem to put it down. It has definite Pretty Woman vibes because our female main character is a maid and the guy that she works for is the male main character, and they develop this fake relationship that turns into something more physical. Abby is juggling grad school and her cleaning job and other responsibilities when she's forced out of her apartment due to a pest problem. So she takes it upon herself to just stay overnight at the rich guy's apartment that she always cleans. But when she wakes up the next morning, his parents are there, and she happens to have the same name as a fake girlfriend that he made up. So they think that she is his wonderful girlfriend and are so excited to meet her and invite her along to this shareholder weekend that they're staying for. Declan is less than thrilled to find out that she stayed overnight in his apartment without any sort of permission, and also that his parents now believe that his fake girlfriend is someone in real life that they've met. But they work out an arrangement just for this weekend where Abby will pose as his girlfriend and he will help her pay off her student loans. However, as they play this couple, sparks between them definitely start flying, and what starts as a convenient arrangement for both of them turns into something more complicated and possibly more real. I love how Abby wasn't afraid to call Declan out on his insane amount of wealth and what he spends his money on. It was really funny to see just a regular person interacting with an extremely wealthy person, because I feel like we can all relate to that. So far, this is turning out to be a 5-star read for me, which honestly is no surprise with Lynn Painter as the author, because I have loved her for ages. She writes incredible young adult and adult romances, so I highly recommend checking out any of her backlist as well. First up on my list of mysteries and thrillers that are coming out in July is She Didn't See It Coming by Sherry LaPena. So the cover of this one is really interesting. It's dark and moody, and it's kind of showcasing the setting for this twisty thriller. I was a huge fan of her book, The Couple Next Door, and I think she does a great job writing close relationships with like friends and neighbors, and it sounds like this one is going to be another exploration of that. This is a missing person case that opens up secrets among family and the fellow tenants in an apartment building. So our main characters are Bryden and Sam Frost, and they appear to have the perfect suburban life with successful careers, sweet friendships, a toddler, and a stylish condo. But one day, Sam receives a call that his daughter hasn't been picked up from daycare, and he returns home to find Bryden missing. But her keys, her wallet are still there, so it seems like she's disappeared without a trace. As the detective starts investigating, Sam becomes the primary suspect, even though there are layers of secrets that quickly unravel. The detective starts to uncover possible motives tied to Bryden's past relationships, her sister's weird obsession with true crime, and even some of their shady neighbors in their building. As the investigation deepens, the idyllic facade of this life starts to crack. And every character that they've interacted with, from best friends to co-workers, carries hidden secrets and possible motives. This sounds like it's going to be an intense psychological thriller that will keep the pages turning fast, so I think this is going to be a great one for summer. The next book is Guess Again by Charlie Donnelly, and this is an author that keeps popping up on my radar, but I haven't tried his books yet, so I might give this one a try this summer. His newest focuses on a cold case from 10 years ago that is resurfacing, causing rifts in a small lake town. So a decade ago, 17-year-old volleyball star Callie Jones vanished from her tranquil Wisconsin lake community. Her disappearance became one of the town's most chilling cold cases. Now, on the 10-year anniversary of her disappearance, the investigator that worked the case, Pete, is basically begging his ex-colleague Ethan to take up the case and try and solve it once again. Ethan had traded in his badge long ago to try and escape the horrors of tracking down kids and those who've committed crimes against them, but Pete is deathly ill and Ethan feels like he can't turn him down. So he picks up the case again, and during the summer, an intense heat wave matches the renewed frenzy around this case as Ethan starts uncovering stones again and even turns to a maximum security inmate to try and get clues about what happened. But this specific lead comes at a cost. So the prisoner is revealing cryptic clues and bizarre links to Ethan's own past, turning him into an extremely unreliable narrator. It's basically a psychological nightmare for Ethan as he continues digging and trying to figure out what happened that night all those years ago. This sounds like another heart-pounding thriller that will leave you second-guessing everything until the final revelation. Then moving on to a few different fantasy books that I'm so excited about this summer. The first one is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. I've mentioned this a few times already because I loved her other book, The Spell Shop, so much, and I have been so excited for The Enchanted Greenhouse to come out. It's set in the same world as The Spell Shop, but it's not like a sequel or a prequel, so you don't need to have read that one first. This one features Turlu Purna, who is the creator of Kaz, the talking spider plant that we first met in The Spell Shop. So Turlu was lonely and she created this spider plant for companionship, but magic is outlawed. So as punishment, she was turned into a statue and kept in the Great Library of Elysium. However, Turlu wakes up years later and finds herself on this enchanted island where there are magical greenhouses kept. And she meets the grumpy gardener who has been tasked with keeping these greenhouses alive. However, over time, she realizes that something is happening with these greenhouses and they're being threatened, and she's trying to determine if she should use her own knowledge of magic to try and help out the plants and this gardener on this island. It sounds like there are very similar vibes to The Spell Shop. This is a classic cozy fantasy with a little bit of romance, a whole lot of heart, and some really intriguing side characters that I know I'm going to fall in love with. I can't wait to dive into this one, and if you haven't read The Spell Shop yet, I also highly recommend that book too. Next up is The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. And this is an author who wrote another one of my all-time favorite, I guess, cozy fantasies from a few years ago. It was called The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. And I'm hoping this one will have all the same heartwarming vibes that I loved from that first book. And again, this one is completely standalone. It has nothing to do with her first book, but I do recommend that one as well. In A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, I love that her titles are just such a mouthful. We have Sarah Swan, who used to be one of the most powerful witches in Britain, but she resurrected her great aunt Jasmine from the dead, and now she's lost her magic. She was exiled from her guild, so now she is just helping her great aunt run this enchanted inn, but mostly she's just been longing to get her power back. When she finds out about an old spell that could be the key to restoring what she lost, she enlists the help of Luke Larson, who is a handsome yet icy magical historian and might just be able to figure out how to unlock the spell's secrets. Luke has no interest in getting involved in all of the crazy shenanigans going on at the inn, but he can't deny that there is something intriguing about Sarah, and he somewhat reluctantly agrees to help her. So for Sarah, running an inn, reclaiming her lost magic, and staying one step ahead of her guild that's trying to stop her is a lot, but she's about to discover that she doesn't have to do it alone. And this weird, wonderful family that she's created for herself might just be all that she needs. And the last book on my list for July is called Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. So Julie is a contemporary romance writer, and this is her first foray into romantasy. And I've heard from reading about it online that this is loosely based on the Hermione and Draco fanfic that exists out there. So it's kind of a retelling of the Harry Potter story, as if Hermione and Draco got together instead. There are a few fanfics out there that I have been dying to read, so I am thrilled to see one of them turned into a traditionally published book that I've got my hands on. It's got a ton of elements that we love from the romantasy genre: enemies to lovers, a strong heroine, plenty of magic. Our main character is Bryony. She has just survived a horrific war, but is facing the end of life as she know it. So in this case, evil won the war, and now Bryony and the other survivors are being captured and sold off. So she's been stripped of her title and her magic, and she was bought by Tuven Hurst, who is part of a family known for their cruelty. So this is where the Malfoy vibes come in, and I think Tuven is going to be the Draco character in this one. It actually says Tuven has grown into a man Bryony cannot ignore, silver-haired and impossibly unfairly beautiful. And while he is most definitely her enemy, he's something else too, something unexpected. But in a world where magic can instantly crush a heart and even thoughts can be stolen, there is no such thing as love. Especially not for Bryony, because she knows about a secret rebellion that has been brewing, and she is desperate to escape her cage. Yet despite the horrors of her current situation, help and hope is not lost and may arise in the most unlikely of places. This one just came out recently, and the final edition features these beautiful sprayed edges and a gorgeous cover, so you're definitely going to want to get your hands on the deluxe edition while it's available. As always, I hope you found some new books to add to your TBR. Let me know in the comments which of these books you're most excited to try, and make sure you're following along to my YouTube channel or my podcast to get all of the best new book releases each month.